The Bristlebacks threaten us all.
Oh, drop the act. We all know it was the Carja who let the Bristlebacks into the valley, sent them straight through the gates of Barren Light.
What do you want, Ulvund? Some kind of payment?
My dear magistrate, you think I can be... bought? If you want that whistle blown, all you have to do is have your soldiers remove the Bristlebacks and sign the concession decree. Face it, what other choice do you have?
Hi.
Savior, what auspicious timing. Might we discuss a matter of importance to the Sundom?
We might. Later.
Very well. I shall be waiting.
So, the Savior herself. Walloper of Derval, gutter of youth.
Maybe.
I've heard many tales of your beauty and heroics, my fierce lady warrior. Ulvund Freeholder, at your service. So, what could have dragged you away from the fine silks and wine of Meridian to this smudge of a settlement? Your saviorly attention must be needed elsewhere.
I'm here for the embassy and...
The embassy? Why, by the forge. Ah. Greater gears for greater matters. Guess that means you'll be moving on.
Once I've dealt with any problems around here that need my... saviorly attention.
Ah, the Bristlebacks, of course. Got to get rid of them if you want that embassy to take place. Well... best get to it, hey? And off you go.
Not so fast. You don't seem to have a high opinion of the Magistrate?
Well, I refuse to play nice to some fancy-robed parchment pusher when my fellow laborers are being bullied, intimidated, and taken advantage of.
How noble of you.
Noble, ha! Born with a hammer in hand I was. Nobody handed me anything or dropped opportunity into my lap. Everything I've achieved, I've done on my own.
And where is this hammer now?
The, burden of leadership forced me to set it aside. The Carja risk nothing, while demanding that good Oseram gamble with their lives out there. Someone had to step up and say no more!
You ordered the work stoppage?
Indeed I did. We're laborers, not soldiers. Until the Carja clean up their mess and give us the fair deal we deserve, I'm not risking Oseram lives.
Fair deal? You mean your concession decree?
It's not my decree. It's on behalf of all the good Oseram laborers of this land who do all the backbreaking work, while only the Carja reap the rewards. All we're asking for is the ability to share in this prosperity for a land worked by the people, for the people.
Right. And just how much would be your share?
Only an amount appropriate to my contributions to this community, of course.
If Chainscrape is on Carja land, shouldn't a Carja be in charge? Who appointed you?
The sensibilities of good Oseram folk, of course. You think a Carja can head this whole venture? Ah! The Magistrate can barely make the trek from Barren Light without losing a few screws.
So you have no real authority then? People only follow you because you say so. Loudly.
Anyone who has followers has authority. I've been with Chainscrape from the beginning. I mean, I'm practically its founder, and its honest folk know I'm indispensable to its success.
You said you founded Chainscrape. Somehow I doubt that.
Practically founded, I said. I alone saw its potential when it was just a smattering of tents in Barren Light's shadow. I invested in the mine, convinced some friends back home to do the same, and here we are. You could say Chainscrape is what it is thanks to me.
Oh, so you're not just standing around and profiting off everyone else?
Not at all. Sure, I make a little return on my investment here and there, but my main priority, as it was from the beginning, is to look after the well-being of these honest, working Oseram.
Where's the whistle?
right in the middle of town, but with the threat out there, I'm not endangering innocent Osram lives.
I'm going to clear out the bristlebacks. And when I'm done, this valley is gonna get moving.
If that's what it takes. Until then, I'll keep looking after the safety of these good folk.
Just be ready to blow the whistle. Better see what that Carja magistrate wanted. I bet he's in the tavern.
Hey, Mildef. Mildef. I took some of your stew last time I went into the wilds. Kept me going for a week. Felt like I could have put a strider in a sleeper hold.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Sounds like you're serving up some impressive provisions here.
Not again. You can have the discount too, but you'll have to come back later.
I think you have me confused with someone else.
Olvin didn't send you?
No.
Oh, my apologies. It's just that his minions won't stop pestering me. Now I've even worn out my special grill. Since I'm in the midst of a crisis, perhaps you could skip to what it is you wanted?
Some of your food?
Of course.
Are Ulvin's people causing you problems?
Oh, yeah. They constantly demand my best, but the equipment I need to make my signature dishes isn't built for batch cooking. And don't get me started on the Ulvin discount they feel so entitled to.
And if you refuse?
I make meals. No trouble.
How did you end up in Chainscrape?
Heard about a new and upcoming town at the edge of the frontier. Where there's a town, there's a tavern. I was in need of work. So I got myself out here and started cooking. Some of these people had never tasted proper boars and berries stew before. Anyway, next thing I knew, people kept coming back. Guess they liked my food. Or the ale.
Your last customer mentioned your cooking really kept him going out in the wild. Where I'm headed, I could use some of that.
I would be happy to oblige, especially since you have the decency to ask pleasantly. But my special groove griddle is no more. Without it, I can't cook any of my signature dishes. I hate to think what'll happen when I'm forced to refuse Ulvin or his goons. Even if I already had the right ingredients, there's nothing I can do. Unless you can source me a temporary replacement?
What do you need?
For the ingredients, a few pieces of decent wild meat, and I'd say a big handful of bitter leaf stems. That'll do. As for the griddle, a corrugated metal panel might suffice until I can have a new one forged. You'd likely find one in the scrounger pile, if you follow the river to the northeast. Don't worry, I'll clean it first. You'll have no issue finding boars and bitter leaf on your way. Assuming you're as much a hunter-gatherer as your clothing suggests.
Thanks, Mildef. I'll keep an eye out.
So that's what gratitude sounds like.
And don't let anyone push you around, okay?
If you say so.
Savior! Over here! Savior, thank you for taking the time. And my condolences that you had to endure Ulvund's bloviating.
I've dealt with worse. It sounds like he's really trying to put you over the barrel.
The idea that the Carja purposely let bristlebacks into the Daunt, it's completely absurd. But the louder and longer he says it, the more support he'll get for his damned concession decree.
How did the bristlebacks get into the Daunt?
No one knows for sure. The first report of them came from west of the quarry. But unless they have wings I don't know about, I don't see how they could have come over the mountains.
No other way in.
The only way I know about is Barren Light. Look, if you can get to the bottom of this, I can offer a considerable bounty in return. Help me shut Ulvund up.
What is this concession decree that Ulvund wants?
He wants the Sundom to designate portions of the Daunt as Oseram holdings. Only the portions, mind you, that produce any value.
Let me guess. Because he stands to profit somehow?
Exactly. With the Daunt under Oseram law, he could secure more investment for their numerous ventures.
He can't get those investments without the concession?
No. Not while there's a chance the Sundom could revoke their access. Hence, why the concession is so important to him. And why blaming the Carja for the bristlebacks, no matter how absurd, works in his favor.
How does blaming the Carja for the bristlebacks help Ulvund get his concession?
Look around. This may be the Sundom, but Chainscrape is all gears and rust and bad ale. Claiming that the Carja loosed the bristlebacks in order to intimidate Oseram laborers into obedience. Well, let's just say no one here has forgotten the atrocities of the Mad Sun King. And with the bristlebacks bringing work in the valley to a halt, Ulvund has plenty of time to pick at barely healed wounds.
And if the Oseram refuse to work, unless the concession is signed, you won't have a choice.
Correct. The reconstruction of Barren Light must continue.
How did you get stuck out here?
I asked for the posting, believe it or not. Overseeing the entire valley on behalf of the Sun King? It was an honor. Is an honor, I mean.
But your job would be a lot easier without someone like Ulvund blasting hot air all the time?
Ulvund's not going anywhere. He's been around longer than I have. Even fancies himself the founder of Chainscrape. Now, I'll find a way to live with him. I have to.
You said the bristlebacks were first spotted west of the quarry?
Yes, according to one terrified laborer, said the ground trembled before they came charging down the hillside. He took off and ran all the way here.
Good place to start looking, then.
If you learn the truth, maybe Ulvund will stop blaming the Carja for every problem under the sun, and maybe then he'll actually focus on rebuilding Barren Light instead.
Aloy, change your mind about that brew? Come for that beer after all, eh? Here, sit down. Get a pint in her hand. Wasn't expecting you to swing by.
Since when do I do what's expected?
Ha! There's that spark. Fire and spit.
Fire and spit.
That's a blast from the bellows. Won't fix the forge, but at least I can forget about my troubles for a while.
Like what?
Take your pick. We got bodies to bury from the bristlebacks, the work stoppage, Olvin grating the gears about his concession decree. Hey! Weapons off the table! Ah, don't listen to me. Nothing a cold brew and knocking some heads together can't fix eventually.
So the bristlebacks in the Daunt. Where did they come from?
That's the thing. No one rightly knows. They just showed up one day, rampaging around the valley like they exploded out of a forge. Lost some good people. But I heard talk of some vanguards trying to take them down.
Did they come through here?
Stopped by briefly for supplies. Ulvund was none too pleased. Won't be able to crank it to his advantage once the bristlebacks are gone.
But how could bristlebacks and the Daunt help Ulvund?
2 words. Concession decree. Since no one knows where the bristlebacks came from, Ulvund has taken to blaming the Karja for them. He's hoping to dig up enough old resentments to get a strike going until the concession's signed. This is just his latest attempt. He's been trying to rile up the workers since the day he rolled into town.
And people actually believe him?
Lots of folks suffered at the hands of the Mad King during the Red Raids. Give him half a reason, they'll blame the Karja for anything.
Damn Karja slavers.
So about Ulvund.
Around here, everything's about Ulvund.
How'd he end up in charge?
He got here early, like a squirrel smelling a fat nut. He knew rebuilding Barren Light would need stone and timber. So he jangled purses all over Mainspring, getting investors to front claims on anything in the Daunt that might be worth a damn. Thing is, all the bankers back home know that this is Karja land, and the Sun King can revoke those claims at any time. That's why he's desperate for the magistrate to sign off on a concession decree.
This concession decree, what is it exactly? And how would it help Ulvund?
It's pig diddle, that's what.
A writ that would put all Osram claims in the Daunt under Osram law, even though they're on Karja land. It would mean that any existing ore, stone, and timber claims couldn't be revoked by the Karja. No more risk, no more hesitation for investors back in the claim to pour in the shards and expand their business. And since Ulvund has a stake in all those claims, it would make him richer than a scrapper in a junk heap. Not to mention Chainscrape would become an Osram municipality, so he could buy enough votes to call himself an Elderman. He's a sly old badger, I'll give him that. Figures if he keeps up the pressure, eventually the magistrate will sign.
I thought you'd be back in Freeheap.
Well, after the big battle at Meridian, I went back, but realized it was running smooth. Didn't need me. Heard about the rebuilding out at Barren Light. Figured they could use another hammer. Been scraping by ever since.
You could always leave.
And go back east? Nah. I ain't one to leave a lit forge. Besides, someone's gotta be a squeaky wheel for the workers around here.
Well, I have to be going. Thanks for the drink, Petra. I'm glad I stopped by.
Anytime, Flamehair.
Come to revel in some strike, sister? Let me set the board.
I was just passing by.
First timer, huh? Don't worry about it. I'll go easy on you. You got any pieces?
No.
Well, aren't you in luck then? I got an extra set, a Tanakh original straight out of the Forbidden West. Sit. I'll run you through it in a hot spark. I'll give you something special if you win it on my boards, too. All right, let's start off simple. The Tenakth like to say that Machine Strike is a game of pure strategy. We each get a set of pieces. Each piece represents a kind of machine, and each machine is worth a different number of victory points. And to win the game, you'll need to gain 7 victory points by destroying the opponent's machines. It can be tricky remembering the details of every machine, so we use these notes to keep track of them. You see that number on the top right corner? That there is how many victory points you'll get for destroying that machine. Notes also tell you how far a piece can move, how powerful their attacks are, the distance they can strike from, and of course, their health. Okay, that's enough for now. Let's just play. I'll explain the rest as we go. I own the board, so I get to choose who goes first. Since this is your first time, I'll let you go. Usually you get to choose which pieces to set on the board, but this will do for now. Pick up that machine piece to your right, and move it forward. And remember, each machine can only move a certain distance. Take a look at your notes if you need a reminder. Easy enough, huh? Now, you get to move 2 machines each round, so go ahead and pick a second machine. Perfect. There's not much else to do for now, so just end your turn. We're forging onwards. Let me move my pieces here. And we're back to you. This time, why don't you try attacking one of my pieces? Try with that machine on your right first. Now move the piece close enough to attack one of my machines. You'll be testing your machine's combat power against the opponent's. A machine's combat power is a combination of the terrain your machine is standing on and its own attack power. This board only has grassland terrain, which has no effect on a machine's combat power. And your current machine has 2 points of attack power. So in total, your machine's combat power equals. Since my machine isn't the one attacking, it has, and just like your machine, it's. So right now, the difference in. This means your machine can do. Did you get all that? Knew you were a smart one. Finish up by. Not pulling any punches, huh? Now grab that second machine of yours. See how your machine can't move close enough to attack mine? You can make your machine sprint. Let's try it out. Downside to sprinting is that your machine can no longer attack. Now, some players like to take a risk and overcharge their machine in cases like this. Overcharging lets you attack after a sprint, but it will damage your machine's health by 2 points. So use it your own. Let's try doing that now so you can. That's about it for your turn. Now, I'll let you in on a neat trick. That machine of yours, the one closest to me, grab a hold of it. Same as in the wilds, machines have both armored points and weak points. You can see them marked on blue shows where their armor is. Hit them there and you'll do some damage. Now, red shows the machine's weak points. Here, let me show you. Rotate that piece so you're... Now let that machine... Off the board she goes, and there's your first victory points. You don't have 7 of them yet, so let's keep going. Your machine attacked mine, but has... Go ahead and move downwards towards my remaining piece. You've already attacked a machine and moved your piece. But if you overcharge... And by the look of your machine's health, you'd be sacrificing your piece to defeat. But sometimes, overcharge your... Ain't that a thrill? Now, because your machine was knocked out at the same time as mine, we both get the victory points our machines are worth. Good news is, since you're the one attacking, you're gonna receive your victory points before I do. Which means you can reach the coveted 7 victory points. That's why sometimes losing a piece can be. Now, you'll notice you didn't get quite up to 7 victory, but you did destroy. That means you're the winner. That wasn't so hard, was it? Just remember, you'd be surprised yet. I know it saved my.
I'll try and...
Oh, before I forget, these are all my spare pieces. I want the Savior of Meridian to have them. It's a small set to be sure, but it should be enough to get you in on any strike games you find out there. You might even fancy looking out for them strike carvers. They've got all kinds of unique pieces, though they'll need the right materials. Or you might find them in the wild. No, I've lost my fair share of pieces after... or brew hop. No need to thank me, always a pleasure. Now, if you feel like playing, I could even teach you a few more tricks if...
Thanks.
I knew I'd make a strike play. How about this time I tell you how to use a board's terrain? This one's got all the different terrains you can encounter in a game of Strike. Knowing when and how to use them can mean the difference between terrain mainly affects your machine's combat. As you know, when you compare its combat, the higher your machine's combat power. So finding the right terrain is an essential strategy. Here, I'll show you. Grab that piece to your left and move to attack my machine. Now let's take a look at your machine's combat power. Combat power is the sum of a machine's attack power and the value. Since it's all, add those to my machine is. It's also this means go. There you go. Now choosing the right terrain doesn't. It can also help defend your machines from attack. Grab your other piece and place it in front of my second machine. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's standing on grassland terrain. This terrain has a value of 0. This means your machine's combat power adds up to 2 points. My machine can't use their attack powers since they're defending their position. But they have the higher ground. They're standing on forest terrain, which is worth 1 point. This means my combat power adds up to 1 point. Now, the front of my machine is colored blue. This means that the spot you're about to attack has armor protecting it, which means my machine gets an extra point, giving it a total of 2 combat power points. If we compare the combat power of both machines, you'll see that you won't be able to do any damage. Whenever you're unable to top an opponent's combat, you can still choose to attack and break their machine. Go ahead, try it out. See? When you break a machine's defenses, you can knock it backwards. Sure, both our machines will receive 1 point of damage, but knocking my machine off that terrain makes it more vulnerable to attacks. Not only that, if my machine had been blocked from moving back, it would have received an extra point of... And if my machine had been blocked by another one of my pieces, that machine would have received damage. That's why breaking a machine's to deal damage to several pieces at once. Useful, right? Okay, there's still one more thing I want to show you. All right, as we've seen, the higher the terrain, the more it'll add to your machine's combat power. However, there are 2 other terrains that work a little differently. This is what we call a chasm. Only flying machines can be placed on those, but it'll take away 2 combat points if you do. This is marsh terrain. Landing on it will take away 1 combat. It'll also keep your machine from moving for the rest. Here, let me show you. Grab that machine on your left. See? All you can do now is wait for your next turn to move again. Or you can still attack any nearby enemy. Well, I think that's enough. You promise it'll all come in handy. Here for more tips? Why don't I tell you a bit more about the pieces we used to play? In a normal game, you get to choose which machines you place on the board. Each one is worth a certain number of setup points. and you can spend up to 10 assembling your army. Knowing what each machine brings to the game and building an army that matches your strategy is the key to becoming a machine. When assembling your army, there are a few things to... First and foremost, you can never have more than 4 of the same machine on the board at the same time. With that in mind, most players know how far they can move or how much attack power they have. But a real strike player will be looking at a machine's type and skills. Let's take a quick look, shall we? Pick up that machine on your left. All right, let's talk about the different ways in which a machine... In other words, if you look at your notes, you'll see this machine here is a melee type. You can also tell by the shape of the base the piece stands on. A melee type machine attacks the first enemy within range. We've seen this plenty of times, so just move that piece forward so I can... Great, now grab your other machine. Looks like we've got ourselves a gunner type machine here. This means they'll only hit the farthest enemy in their attack range. Let's move that machine forward and so we can take a look at the rest of the piece. Let's go with this piece first. This is a ram type machine. Attack an enemy with it and it'll push the piece backwards. Like this. See, now my machine has taken over your machine's spot on the board. This is a great way to your opponent if they have the height. Looks like we have one more piece to look. Now this is a beauty of a piece, a dash type machine. When it attacks, it'll move to the end of its attack range and damage every machine in its path, including your own. You should also make sure it's able to finish its attack on an empty spot. Otherwise, you won't be able to attack at... Here, I'll show you. Look, it even rotated. A nifty little piece you'll definitely... If you look at your notes, you'll notice this particular machine has one of the skills I mentioned before. There's quite a few of those, but I'm pretty sure it's got all the... I think that about... Let's play. Time to get serious. Your move, Red. Okay, let's see. Your turn. Armor is a machine's best defense. You got me down to one piece. I am impressed. Time to make my move. That was brutal. That's the game. You up for a rematch? Good luck. My turn. You're up, Red. I'm up. Board's all yours. I got a tough fight ahead of me. Okay, let's see. One less piece on the board. Oh, I thought I had that one. This is gonna be fun. Time to make my move. That's it for me. My turn. Well, that's done now. Oh, guess you're done, huh? Here we go. You're up, Red. I'm up. Off the board it goes. Oh, we can stop if you want. Let's do this. Time to get serious. That's it for me. Knocked right off the board. My turn. Board's all yours. I was hoping you wouldn't do that. Well, that's done now. I'm up. Off the board it goes. A single machine left? That ain't good. Time to get serious. Just one piece left. Ah, looks like I lost. Let's play. Your turn. Okay, let's see. Your move, Red. That was brutal. Time to make my move. Board's all yours. You're just hammering down on my pieces now. Taking a risk, huh? Knocked right off the board. Time to get serious. One less piece on the board. One less piece on the board. Okay, let's see. Well, that's done now. Just one piece left. That sure dampens the forge. I'm up. That's it for me. Now that was a game, even if I lost. Let's do this. Time to make my move. Your turn. knocked right off the board. My turn. Ah, off the board it goes. That was brutal. Hey! Oh, that was the perfect spot. Knocked right off the board. Your move, Red. That was a surprise. Well, that's done now. Ah, off the board it goes. My turn. Time to make my move. You're up, Red. Well, spark my forge. You have beaten me on every one of my boards. Now that deserves a prize, I say. Don't be a stranger.
Corvin and the others are doing better than I am.
Gotta stay positive.
What happened to you?
That damn mine is what happened to me. It won't be the last injury if Ulvin keeps shoving those tongs into those tunnels.
What mine?
Northeast of Chainscrape. I told Corvin we should stop when the first cave-in happened, but Ulvin probably threatened to cut off her.
How about you slow down and take me through it? You mentioned you...
Yeah, a couple days ago. Corvin and the others were opening a new vein while I was checking on an older one. As soon as their blast hit, might have dodged it if I wasn't running on barely a... We were pushing too hard.
And you're afraid Corvin and the others might not be as lucky.
Mm-hmm. Hit the nail right on the head.
How come Ulvin's in charge?
Try telling Ulvin that. He brought in all the backing to get him open. What is... Fire and spit. U.S.
Who's Corvin?
He's their foreman. The kind that knows how to deal with management when it gets in. But Ulvin... Corvin's been doing his best to appease. He even blamed himself for my injury when it was Ulvin who ordered the act.
Sounds like a good guy.
That's why we all put up with the long hours and lousy conditions. But if the whole mine becomes I'd rather suffer Ulvin's wrath than...
I could check in on your crew.
I'm drunk, you!
Think that?
Big cows.
Are you a sight?
You gotta move! That's it!
You wanted to speak to me?
Well, you know better than anyone, and not just against machines. Name's O'Dur. Best place to practice close combat. Say, you, the savior of Meridian, champion.
Who?
The Enduring. A legendary Tanakh. I've heard the Tanakh have training pits. It's how the warriors get so. And only the very best from the pits get.
So, to find the Enduring, I should look for these training pits if I'm ever out that way?
You'll have to go far if you do. The Tanakh. 3 clans, 3 capitals, 3 training pits. My guess is you'd have to beat all of them if you want to train with the Enduring. If the Tanakh don't kill you on sight, that is. But that's a far spark in the wind. As for right now, I also offer challenges.
Who would I be fighting exactly?
Well, I know you're the same, but you have to beat all the others first to challenge me. We only use dual blades and practice arrows, mind. These drunken fools. You'll have to leave everything but your spear, but I'll look after your gear, not to worry. So, what do you say? Up for some training?
I might be.
That's what I like to hear.
It seems like Bitterleaf likes to grow on rocky terrain. This'll keep. Okay, I think I have enough Bitterleaf. green like Blaze, but it's hard and shiny. I wonder if merchants would be interested. There. That should be enough wild meat for Milda. This'll be in my stash when I need it. Okay. Strangers. Moldov said I could find a metal panel in one of their scrap weak to acid. Scavengers. Moldov said I could find a metal panel in one of their scrap piles. Through the scrap piles for a metal panel. No metal panel. Better check another scrap pile. I think I have everything I need for Mildif. Good thing, too. I could use a decent meal. You look edible. Once you're cooked. Oliver said he'd find his crew. Oh, here we go! This must be the mine Arnav told me about. It looks like the miners are in trouble. That looks like the foreman Arnif mentioned. I should check in with him.
I'm okay.
Corvind? Arnif sent me. I'm...
Not...
Easy. What happened?
Explosion. Some of my guys are still...
You've done enough. Are you hurt?
I
need to know...
We used controlled blast. One of them must have gone wrong.
How many are still down there? Corvind. I'll do what I can. Gotta find those 2 miners. Quick.
Hello? Can anyone hear me?
The miners. One of them doesn't look too good.
I think I'm starting to see things.
Are you okay?
Who are you?
Corvin sent me. Are you hurt?
My leg. I was a little too close to the blast.
What happened?
We were blasting in the farthest tunnel, but the scaffolding didn't hold. It collapsed. I think it blocked the drainage shaft. Water started flooding the place as quick as I drink ale. I barely managed to drag us here.
So something's keeping the water inside the tunnels.
What are you thinking?
I've got an idea. Are there more explosives?
Are you crazy?
Yeah, should still be some up top, but you'll need these fuses.
Are you crazy?
You can't move, and I'm not leaving you. It's not like she can make things worse.
Don't go anywhere. I need to find whatever's blocking that drainage shaft and blow it sky high. Hopefully without bringing the mine down on top of me.
Not without you.
Skin stings in this cold. made it. There's the debris blocking the shaft. If I can reach those explosives up on that track, maybe I can blast through the blockage. Maybe I can swim. If I find the right cauldron, I'll learn how to override this machine. That's all of them. Now to find a way out of this room. I should follow those tracks. See if they lead to the explosives. Let's see where this leads. There's the explosives, up on the track. Just need to get across somehow.